When we work with assessments, we often come into a section where we're playing with the conversation. Where is consistency required for student success? And where is flexibility required for student success? And that conversation leads us to common assessments. The phrase common assessments can have a lot of meanings though. Are we thinking about something where it's a common assessment that is evidence of standards, where it has to be very structured and aligned to the language of the standards, and something that might be used district-wide or statewide or building-wide? Or are we talking about a common assessment where it's something where maybe multiple years of experience are building up to it? Something that Grant Wiggins and Jay McTighe would call a cornerstone assessment. Something where all second graders have this learning experience and this assessment, but it takes K1, 2 to actually develop the skill set for it. Or are we talking about a common assessment where it's something where we are doing something maybe horizontal alignment? All the third grade teachers plan together and give this chapter test. So being clear about what we mean about a common assessment becomes more and more important as buildings and districts move toward that kind of language. We want to add a term. We have common assessments, as we've discussed, and we have comparable assessments, which really mean they may not be identical in terms of the question, the format, the method, but they are consistent in terms of the target. So, if we make a commitment because of our unit plan to writing a narrative, and we can say we're going to have a common rubric for that narrative. It's going to have an introduction. It's going to have sequencing. If we're comfortable with that level, then your classroom can write narratives about how I spent my summer, and my classroom can write narratives telling stories of perseverance. They can be on completely different topics and assignments, but because we have that element of alignment, in this case through a rubric, they are comparable assessments. So being clear not only of what form of common assessment we want, or whether we need a common assessment or we can have a comparable assessment, is important. So when we're talking about how to make that choice, we find success when we say, how is it going to be used? When faculty come together to unpack student work, when they come back together to say, how are our students doing on writing a narrative? Once you define how the assessment evidence is going to be used, for example, in that kind of a faculty or grade level conversation, then you're going to be able to decide whether you need a common assessment or a comparable one.